Hello all you MOBA loving cosmonauts, as always I am Cosmic and today we're going to be reviewing Heroes Evolved, which is an all new MOBA recently released on Steam, developed by NetDragon and published by R2 Games. At its core, mechanically the game is pretty much a carbon copy of games like Dota 2 and League of Legends, and pretty much steals the League of Legends art style, copies some of the mechanics of Dota 2, puts them together into a game, and the end product you have is something that is not particularly good for several reasons. So first, let's talk about the hero selection. There are a number of heroes to choose from. I think there's around 75 unique characters in total. However, there are multiple problems with the roster. First of all, each character is fairly expensive in terms of the business model, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But for the most part, the majority of the heroes are completely unbalanced currently, and on top of that, some of them are pretty much blatant copyright rip-offs from other games, particularly games like Dynasty Warriors. There is several characters that are very reminiscent of WoW characters, as well as there being some blatant audio copyright infringements from World of Warcraft, including the queue up logo is exactly the queue up sound. The audio cue is basically the exact same as queuing for PvP in World of Warcraft, which is probably something that they're probably not allowed to do, I don't think. But this isn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem in this game is the business model. It is completely pay to win in every aspect. First, you have to buy heroes. Second, once you level, there are glyphs that you can input into your characters, which will give you various bonuses or buffs, that kind of thing. And you have to pay real-world money for those glyphs. On top of that, if you buy VIP status, you will get special powers, and you will also get preferential cooldowns on your abilities in a match, which means that when you're facing a paid player, their cooldowns will cool down a hell of a lot faster than yours will, which means that not already is the game already unbalanced from just a general standpoint of balance, the characters are already unbalanced, but then you go even further with a pay-to-win model. This is an extremely exploitative pay-to-win model in Heroes Evolved, and it is a pretty much fairly outdated pay-to-win model that you used to see in very early pay-to-win games on mobile devices. Now, Heroes Evolved is a mobile game that's been brought to the PC, and you can certainly tell in its core mechanics and in its implementation, and of course in its pay-to-win model. And it's one of those things where it's not only bad, but it just ruins the entire experience. Not that there was much of a good experience to begin with. So forgetting for a moment that you have a terrible pay-to-win business model, that you have borderline copyright infringement characters and audio sounds, let's get on to the main core gameplay. And the main core gameplay is exactly a Dota clone, a League of Legends clone in its very essence. It's uninspired, it's unimaginative, it's a carbon copy, it's boring, it's not good. It's the problem is they've copied like a bit of League of Legends and a bit of Dota, but they haven't executed either one of those concepts very well in any regard. Any given match works exactly as you would expect it to. You fight on 3 lanes and the jungle area, and you try and destroy the enemy team's base, and that's the game. That's the goal of the game. The problem is that it's not a very fun experience because you have pay-to-win players in there, and then on top of that you have unbalanced characters, so if you happen to choose a character that is absolutely god-awful, then you're screwed for the entire match. And then on top of that, the game is an absolute technical mess from start to finish. Not only do you have consistent frame rate drops on a game that looks dated to begin with, but on top of that, every time you try and close the game, your computer just freezes. And it's not just me. Your computer, this has happened to a lot of players. You essentially get a black screen, and even though your computer is running in the background, you will no longer be able to see your screens, and you'll have to completely turn and restart your computer. So that's a really joyous, momentous thing to happen in a video game in 2017. And you might be saying, oh, Cosmic, you're going really hard on this game. And to be fair, I am, but it bloody deserves it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because at the end of the day, if this was a team of developers who maybe made a mobile MOBA, ported it over to PC, and they wanted to create, just a alternative Dota or alternative League of Legends, very similar in style, just basically a clone, then that's one thing as their game. That's what they wanted to do. But this isn't the case here. What you have here is a case of, let's create a MOBA that is not only highly exploitative in every aspect, but is clearly ripping off IPs from other video games, like Dynasty Warriors, like World of Warcraft, and it's just lazy, it's cheap, and it's ultimately deceptive in every way, because the core mechanics of the game are outright broken and unbalanced, and then on top of that you have this exploitative pay-to-win system that is just outright exploitative and pay-to-win, which is bad enough, but the mixture of everything in this game combined makes it one of the most distasteful MOBAs I have played to date. It is just so awful, and it's a real shame that games like this that are exploitative, use that exploitative nature within their design to survive in the marketplace, when games that have fair business models, good balanced mechanics, like the DC Universe MOBA that was created a while back and then failed, those games just are bred to die. And you have good games in the genre dying all the time, but crap like this surviving. Ultimately, the game isn't bad because it looks like League of Legends or it looks a little bit like Dota. The game is bad because it executes its core mechanics poorly, it has an exploitative pay-to-win system, and it borderline copyright infringes on its characters. And those together just make one of the worst MOBAs out there at the moment, and I have no idea why this is allowed on Steam at all. I think if you are a MOBA fan, then certainly avoid Heroes Evolved, go play Dota 2, go play League of Legends, go play another MOBA, because this one is just pointless, it is technically messy, it is exploitative, and thus not fun in the slightest. And that is my review for Heroes Evolved. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, make sure to share, and as always, I will see you next time.